Good morning. Early Monday morning. Mom's getting her hospital bed delivered today, and Cassie doesn't work, so I had to go move the car. And it's recycling day, so it worked out. So I got to take her recycling can out too. But anyways, cold out here this morning. I didn't check the temperature, but I can see my breath. And I figured, alright, it's light out. As long as I'm doing this, and again, I don't expect them to be here before 8. I'll just take a little walk around the neighborhood right away. Get that in. At least I can do that because, again, don't know when the bed's coming, so don't know whether I will be up for exercising later. Depending on how things go, how late it runs, how long I'll be there. Just going through stuff or doing whatever as we wait. But at least I'll get my walk in. Alright, just had my shower, changed my bag. I still have a little bit of rawness near the right side, but nothing's bleeding. It looked okay, so that went well. Figured, okay, well, I eat breakfast. I had seen the email that I had more test results done, so I figured that was my CT scan, but I'm like, okay, well, I'll eat breakfast, I'll take my time. And I just open it up, and it says, no evidence of metastatic disease in the chest, abdomen, and pelvis. Woo! So happy. So there it is. No evidence. Stable chronic post-surgical changes of abdominal perineal resection with the cutaneous fat flap reconstruction. Stable low-density lesions in the right kidney. So that's the same. Stable scattered pulmonary micronodules. Additional stable findings as detailed above. Woohoo! Yay, yay, yay. Made my day. Now I don't have to think about it again for technically 6 months. I'm sure I'll still do blood work again at 3 months. But this is then pretty much the 2-year mark. December will be 2 years that I am no evidence of disease. So yay! Tomorrow I have my oncology appointment, and I'm sure basically he'll just say, yep, everything's fine, and we'll just schedule my next appointment. So it'll be quick and easy. That's what we like. Happy Wednesday! It's time to go see my oncologist. I have that appointment to go over the CT scan, but obviously the results are good, so it should be a quick and easy visit, and hopefully just booking my next appointments. And for the heck of it, again, towards the end of the year, and just as a little thank you and make the office staff a little happy, but brought a little treat for them. Doctor's appointment is done. I tried to be in the shade here, otherwise I'm just in the sun. The way that angle is, this is probably real flattering too. Anyways, yes, saw the oncologist, and he said my CT scan results were good. And because of that, he said that we're at the point now where I don't need to have my next blood work until 6 months instead of 3 months. And I don't need a CT scan for a year. So, woo! We're past the 6-month mark stuff now. I get to be at a year. So that's awesome. And then he said he wants my port out. And I was like, well, and he goes, yeah, you still want it, huh? And he's like, yeah, no, it's time. We need to have that out. I'm like, well, kind of like you said, it's like a little insurance thing, whatever. I'm like, it hurts just as much to poke the port as to find a vein, and it's there. He's like, yeah, but it can cause problems. And I'm like, well, I've heard people say like after 5 years they've had it stop working, where they weren't able to get it flushed and all that. And so one of those too, that if it's not broke, don't fix it. And it's kind of like it's already just there. It's in the body. It's not having problems. As opposed to have another surgery per se. It's probably more like a colonoscopy. I asked him, I'm like, do you stay awake for it? He's like, well, I'm not sure. I'm like, you've been doing this job for how long? How many of your patients have a port? How do you not know this information? Granted, I suppose the surgeons that do the port, they may each do their own procedure. They may do it their own way, but I mean, you'd still have an idea. That was interesting. I was awake when they put the port in. It was I only remember the surgeon talking something about his vacation. That's it. I just know he was talking about his vacation. He said something. I don't remember the rest. I don't remember any responses. I know I was surprised I didn't feel any pressure in the chest, because I was thinking about, when I had my C-section and had the baby out, I could feel the pressure of them cutting. Obviously no pain and everything, and then I kind of felt like a woof of them pulling the baby out. Obviously, it's not that. It's not, you know, I would have thought I would have felt the pressure of them cutting to put the port in and stuff, but I didn't. And I'm assuming, too, with it taking it out, they're going to numb it up enough that I shouldn't feel it. Kind of like when I had the PICC line in and they took that out. I didn't really feel that. It was a little bit, I felt the drain when I had the drain on my side and took the drain out. Like that, I could feel. That felt goofy. Taking the PICC line out, there was like a little something, but it wasn't really anything. I just know I had to lay flat there for a while and all that. And he said, well, the port's just a little bit different because it's under the skin. It's not like just a little cut and sticking out type of thing. So it'll be a little something, which I guess is fine. I do still always feel just a little bit of pinching there. I know it's there. Besides, obviously, not, you know, I don't touch the area, because if I touch it, it feels like a little bit of a bruise. So that's, you know, what's been there. So it will be nice to have it out. And obviously, again, we're at that point. I'm at that point too. I'm thinking, you know, I'm good. This cancer, the cancer journey per se, is done. Yeah, I'll still do these little monitor testings, but I should be good. I should be good. It's just, yeah, poking the veins. Still, for me, maybe that's part of, that's one less step of having anxiety, of knowing that they have to poke a vein and get it and all that, which I don't know. Again, in my past, I didn't ever used to have problems with them finding a vein, like doing blood draws and all that stuff. So with them getting in the crook of my arm, that's always been fine. And at this point, I guess it's only twice a year. At least twice this next year, whatever, that I should have to be poked. So again, that should be fine. So it's not like it's the 4 times or more, you know, because of the blood draws and then because of the scans. Like this last time, I got lucky where I was able to have the blood draw the same day. So I was only poked once, and then I could wear that same thing over to the CT scan. I didn't have to be poked again. But there's that anxiety. I know when they were doing my blood infusions, the iron infusions, I should say, the iron infusions, where there was one of the times where they missed a vein and they had to poke me a second time. And then there was my surgery day, but there again, I'm sure I was dehydrated and I was thin and whatever, where they poked me twice and they didn't get it. And I think they're going for a 3rd time. I don't think they poked me 3 times. I think it was only twice, but then we're like, please use my port. And they did. They were able to use my port to get me out. And then while I was under, they got the IVs in my veins, of which obviously I had a bruised area where there was not like an IV. And I thought, yeah, they missed also that way. So it's going to be okay. There we go. You know what? Let's put it out there. Put it out in the universe. Everything is going to be okay. It's all meant to be. The doctor put my orders up for the scheduler to schedule my appointments. And she was looking in the chart and saying, okay, well, I see, you know, these appointments or whatever. And so she was, should we schedule this? We'll call, you know, is it okay to call central scheduling? And I was like, well, sure. I said, did the doctor put a name down there for who he wants? Because I know he mentioned going to Grafton, that, you know, Grafton would be a good place to get the port removed. And she was like, no, I don't see a name down here. And I'm like, okay. And she calls scheduling, and I'm talking to the scheduler, and she's asking me all these questions, which they normally do, about, you know, do you have diabetes? Do you have any type of infusion pump? Are you taking any of these medicines? Can you get on the table unassisted? Have you had a scan before? Have you had, maybe it was, have you had a CT scan before? I'm like, well, yeah, last week and all that. She goes, okay, so we'll schedule you for like November 19th. And I'm like, well, that's like next week. Is it? Wait, what day is it? And I'm like, what are we scheduling for? Because she was with a CT scan. And I'm like, oh, I thought we were scheduling the part removal. So I'm thinking, oh, I don't want to go to Grafton for that. I want to go to Mequon. So I hung up with her, whatever. And then I either said something to the gal. She goes, oh, when would you like your blood work done? You want it same day, or you want, you know, but that's, you know, early or whatnot. And I'm like, well, you know what? I'm going to call and reschedule that, because I thought we were scheduling for the port removal, not the CT scan. And so I would rather have that done at Mequon. And then, yeah, I can have the blood draw, the CT scan done the same day. And maybe, depending on where they'll poke me, I'll be able to just leave that in. Because I thought too, I'm like, oh no, I'm not going to have the port. Now they're going to have to poke me in a vein.
And depending on the needle they use or what they may or may not be able to leave that in. So we'll see how that goes. Again, that's a year from now. I don't need to think about that for a while. We'll just leave that be, one day at a time, right? So anyways, yeah, so they're like, would you like central scheduling's phone number? I'm like, yes, please. So they printed off my sheet with my next appointments, gave me the phone number, so I will call that later today when I get home. Now I'm gonna go shopping. I didn't get out yesterday. It was raining all day yesterday, so I didn't even take a walk. But mom's clapper went out. It doesn't work anymore. And I said, we've got the hospital bed for her. So we've been trying that. I think I mentioned my new routine. I go over there at nighttime now. I help her get into bed. I'm trying to get some of the fluid off of her legs. So the first night she slept in the bed, she made it about 4.5 hours. She got out, she's like, her legs really like went down. And I could tell when I was there that day, like it went back a little bit, but the one foot, like her right foot looks normal size now and halfway up her calf. Left leg's always been more swollen and all that, but I could tell that was down a little bit too. And so she said, but she could also tell her heart was working a little bit harder to get the fluid off. And I thought too, and I'm like, oh yeah, now the fluid's gonna be draining, you're gonna have to go to the bathroom, so you may not be able to stay in bed that long or whatever. But yeah, she'd made it there 4.5 hours, you know, and then did the bathroom thing, then went to the chair, and then she was like, oh no, I was awake. I saw them moving around. But I said for last night, I'm like, all right, well, let's try maybe 2 hours. Maybe we have to work up to this also, so that yeah, the rest of the body can also handle all this. So I told her, like, set an alarm on your phone or something for 2 hours or something. So this morning, and I asked how it went, and I think she said 2.5 hours she made it. It was there 2.5. And same, she could feel a little bit of fluid coming off the legs. She was not as much as, obviously, the first night, but again, shorter amount of time. And yeah, so there's still like a little bit of fluid, but also, you know, body wise she felt better. She was, although the bed is really comfortable, she doesn't like want to get out of it, but and yeah, so there again, like I said, you know what, slowly but surely, same for her. We gotta, you know, let's do this slowly and not rush it and whatever, and get her body getting back to more normal. So that'll be good. But in any case, like I said, her clapper went out. We have a clapper on a light in the room, and so this way too, especially with her being in the bed, because her light's near the chair. But this way, if I can put the clapper on that light that's near to the bed and stuff, then obviously I can turn off the other light, and then she can clap. And that if she's going to be sleeping, you know, in the bed, when we get to that point where she can stay in it for a little bit longer, and hopefully she will be able to fall asleep in the bed and get her body used to that new routine. So there's that, and I had a couple other things on my list that I wanted to check out. I did remember my plastic bags. I remember as I was getting ready to go, I was like, oh wait, let me grab these, throw these in the car. So at least I'll do that also. But anyways, nice day out, not too bad. It's in the 40s, sunny. So at least, yeah, good weather. So we can be out and about and getting some things done.
It's a cute display when you walk in. I like this. I like that white tree. It's very cute. This one has LED ends on it. So it's a light up, but just on the ends. Very cute. Regular little Christmas tree. But it's not like self-lit. That one's got, you gotta put a string of lights on. This one's cute too. Shiny, tinsel type tree. Looking at the gift set type stuff they always have out at Christmas. So they have, you know, the Meyer beauty box. This box reminds me of the chocolate covered cherry box. But it looks like we have strawberry face masks. So that would be interesting. More face masks. And some makeup-y stuff. Acne patches. Body care gift sets. We have Ariana Grande. So she's got 2 different gift sets out. So we got all the body wash, the perfumes, all that kind of good stuff. I haven't worn perfume in a long time. Interesting. Forever 21. Vanilla and mango. Pink aura. Pastel peony. Skulls on there. Interesting. And for the men, although this too could be for either. I've heard this stuff is really good. But you've got their little deodorant and body scent stuff. This is kind of neat body kit, but you get like a shaving kit with it too. We use our one that's like this for when we go on vacations for our toiletries. So we got the cedar wood or the sandalwood. And coconut and vanilla. My one daughter does not like coconut. Got your Deadpool or Spider-Man. And then Sasquatch. Winter survival kit for taking care of dryness. And then these. Then of course you have to offer up your lump of coal and soap. And then they have pine. And pipe smoke. Interesting that you'd want to smell like that. I'm not a pajama person, just because I like to be either dressed for the day or when I go to bed. We've got a heated blanket on the bed, so I can just wear a long t-shirt. Otherwise that would be like too warm. But Mandy had like a pajama day at school, but of course she's in Korea, so I don't know if these would be able to get over there fast enough for her if I sent them. If I sent her. But the thing is too that these are all just a pair of pants. They're not like a set. It's not pants and a shirt. So that kind of stinks. Because it would be very cute if we had a matching shirt to go with. Oh, look at the cute polar bears. And the cute deer. Oh. These are very cute because Maggie doesn't have pajamas like this either. Well, alright. I found the sets. These are shirt and pants. These look like for smaller kids though. We'll have to see. These might be more for grown-ups. I'll have to check the sizes. But these are cute. These are cute ornaments. I think I've got some of these that are actually just our letters on our tree. So one for each of us. I like the polar bear. I like the house one too. Cute colors. Oh, and the blue tree. And then I found some baby's first Christmas ones. Very nice. The teacher. And of course for those that have passed. Very cute. Do you guys put these type of ornaments on your tree? Do you have heirloom ones? Do you have fun ones? Mario, cartoon characters, Hello Kitty, Miss Rachel. I haven't watched her. You've got the Coca-Cola and the polar bear. Well, this year it seems the commercials have the squirrels on, which I think is cute just because my whole squirrel fiasco, but and then beer ones. There's all different Elvises. Monster trucks. Oh, the bass fish. There's some more of all those different food ones like I saw at the other store. I showed Bluey. There's some of the Rudolph characters. And some more Marvel. I know some people even decorate one whole tree with just a theme like that. The guy, my friend's husband, did all Star Trek. And there's some mac and cheese in one of those. There's all the princesses. I think I've got a few. I've got Elsa because Cassie was Elsa in a parade. So every year I try to get an ornament themed on something that was going on or what we did. So this year I've got the cheese wedge, whatever, from the Mars Cheese Castle. Because of us going there and because Mandy likes cheese. But I like ornaments. Here they have some mini trees. They have some metallic type ones too. Some little base coverings, like a tree skirt, and little tree toppers. And then they have all the little mini ornaments to go with the mini trees. That's pretty cute. And then of course St. Nick's Day is coming up. So then they have all the St. Nick little goodies and candies. Do you guys celebrate St. Nick's Day? It's kind of a German thing that's kind of adopted all over now. But I suppose I can start thinking about that now too. So they have all the little food items, and then they have all kinds of little toys. Fun stuff. There we go. I should get a squirrel this year, just because, again, me and the squirrels, some other kind of characters, little stuffed animals. Some of them play music. This one has a little jingle bell on top. It jingles. And the Frosty, and Rudolph, and Dee, Woodstock, Snoopy, Cindy Lou Who. Oh, there's the Crunch again. An Elf on the Shelf. All kinds of elves. Do you guys do the Elf on the Shelf? That kind of came around after my kiddos were little. So we did not ever get into that. There's a big elf on the shelves. Woo! No clapper, and I'm pooped now. But Mom was asking for a new Christmas tree. So here we go. So it's going to be pre-lit. Her other one's kind of falling apart and lights are half working and all that. So here you go. Christmas present for Mom. Oof. That's fun. I can tell I'm pooped. I was just thinking, I'm like, yeah, there's a couple more stops I wanted to make, and I'm done. Yeah, as I was shopping, I was getting to a certain point, and I'm like, okay, I just want to go home now. What else? I was going to check something in the food aisle, or for some Dawn foaming dishwashing soap and all that. I'm like, I don't absolutely need it. I'm just ready to go. So I asked to check out if they had the clapper there, and they said no. They don't. So again, that requires another stop, but I'm done. So tomorrow I'll have to go out again. And then as I'm leaving, I'm thinking, oh yeah, it's past lunchtime. I had an early breakfast because of going to the doctor, and so it's like it's lunchtime, and I thought, oh yeah, I was going to pick up a salad from there because I really like their salads. Like, well, obviously I guess I wasn't that hungry because I didn't remember it, and I thought, oh, I was going to pick up bread because we're out of bread. And so if maybe Wayne wanted to make a peanut butter sandwich or something, that we would have some bread in the house. But that didn't happen either. So again, I'm tired. Tomorrow we will try to venture out again and see what we can see. Do you guys use the clapper at all? Do you remember the clapper? Do you remember the commercial? Clap on, clap off, clap on, clap off. The clapper. Oh, from so long ago. But I know they still make it. I did look it up online, and I know that they had it at Walmart. So that's why I thought again, I'm like, oh, then maybe Meijer will have it because they're kind of the same type of store. But no such luck. But anyways, yeah, let me know if you guys use that at all. More so what was in the department were timed lights. And I thought of that too, but Mom doesn't really have a real schedule. If she gets tired, she sleeps, and if she's up, she's up. So same special at nighttime. But anyways, yeah. Let me know if you've ever used one. Happy Thursday. I decided I was going to come out and get my walk in. Cassie is sick. She caught a cold last Friday, and I decided to stay home today because it was just a little bit worse, and kind of moved from just being all in her head to a little bit in her stomach. So she was feeling a little queasy, and she's like, yeah, she doesn't get sick often, and she doesn't call into work often. So that's all right. Give her a day of rest to stay home. But I was thinking, well, Granted, I've been home with her blowing her nose and spreading her germs. I've been fine. I've been running my thieves in my diffuser, which is supposed to kill germs. But also I thought, well, I don't want to be exercising, jumping around doing my aerobics and breathing heavy and really breathing in all the germs. So I thought, well, you know what, then I will just take a longer walk today. So I figured, well, and again, while it hasn't snowed yet, I will walk around the whole big lake and we'll go find that other shopping cart, see if it's still there. I'm sure it is. And we'll go return that to the store. Because I told her too, I'm like, yeah, then maybe I could stop at the store, and she's almost out of her Tylenol cold medicine. She has enough to get through today, but she wouldn't have any for tomorrow morning. So I was like, all right, well, what the heck, let's take a longer walk and we'll go to the store and see if we can maybe find a clapper at this store. I don't think so. I was looking online last night and it seemed like all of them were can be delivered in 3 days. So, you know, the free delivery to the store. And I was like, well, okay. That's nice, but not very helpful. It's like, I just wanted to go to the store and pick it up. So in any case, we'll see. Other thing being, what else? I did call the scheduling line last night and I got my CT scan rescheduled. So I saw that the gal actually also scheduled my blood test on a different day than my CT scan. So I thought, I'm like, okay, well, can I have my CT scan on the same day as the blood test? And she was like, nope, because the order went in for like a year from the 19th, so it had to be the 19th or after in November. And so I was like, oh, okay, that's fine, that works for me. So I'm like, I'll just reschedule my blood test, which I figured they can't do that in the computer anyways. If you already have an appointment scheduled, they can't schedule another one at that same time, because obviously that wouldn't work for people. That's their default. So I will reschedule my blood test maybe, because the thing is too, I don't know, like if they just have to take blood work, normally they can use like a little butterfly needle, so a really small one, just to get blood out. I don't think they normally use a bigger one, and I thought, but to put the dye in my system for the CT scan, they need a bigger needle. Because I know before I had the port, and they've had to put the needle in they put it in my hand, the back of my hand. And I can feel the plasticky part where it was like threading in, they put it like that. Which is why I was like, yeah, port, no, I'm fine having my port, because again, I know it works, and I know it's one stick, and it doesn't hurt as bad as like that when I'm threading the thingy in. And thank goodness, then it's done right away, and even still, but like, I only have to have that done once, which is good too. But in any case, I have, like I said, I've got the CT rescheduled, and then I mentioned to her about why I was doing that, because of needing the port removed. And she said, oh. And I said, so I don't know if I can talk to you about that. I said, I don't know how that works. Is it just a matter of that the order is placed and then they call me? And she said, well, you can call, she's a different department, and you can call that line. She was, here, you want the phone number? And I was like, sure. So she gave me the phone number, and she says, they're not going to be open, and I'll leave a message and stuff. So I did. I called and left a message. I'm like, okay. And I actually got a call back this morning. So I was like, oh, okay. So they called and said that they're scheduling out to December. It was kind of like, oh, okay, that's it. This is mid-November yet, that they're not that far booked out. So she was thinking it was kind of a ways, but I was just like, oh, I'm happy I can get it done this year, because I was thinking that too. If next year I only need basically 2 blood tests, the blood tests are running $800. That's $1,600, and then the CT scan runs about between $2,000 and $3,000. So I'm kind of hitting that $5,000 mark of the deductible. So if I'm close to that, if I don't, what can I say? I don't know. It's better that if I don't hit it, I mean, I'll be happy with that, because then we're not spending that much. Oops, squirrel. So yeah, if I can not, if I could not spend that $5,000, if it would be less than that, that would be nice. So yeah, we shall see. Like I said, it seemed again that the doctor was kind of fairly confident that I'm good. I'm good now. But in any case, yeah. So I have the port removal scheduled, and she was explaining that I can still like eat and drink before the procedure, and well, if was I okay with having just generalized numbing. And so I thought, oh, okay. And she was okay. Well, then with that, then you can still eat and drink, wear whatever clothes you want, because we'll just put you in a gown when you get here. And yeah, and she said you can drive yourself. So I thought, oh, interesting, okay. And she said, yeah, it's not like when the port goes in and they put you under that like generalized anesthesia. She goes, some people want to be put out for it, and all that, but she says if you can get away with just a localized anesthesia, then they prefer that. And I thought, okay. I had seen that in some of the chat groups and how they said that it was just localized, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. But I guess if they're just pulling it out, it's not like when you're threading it in and you really can't have the person moving and all that stuff being under the skin. So yeah, they'll have to make a cut. And then she said, yeah, and then for a week, no heavy lifting, no like big movements, all you have to rest, which I also expected. So I thought, okay, then yeah, I'll have a week of relaxing and healing and all that good stuff. But so yeah, like I said, in hindsight, it'll probably be good. Feeling just, I feel like I said, I feel it there. I mean, I know it's there. I just feel a little bit of a pinch, but so yeah, that'll be done. It'll be done this year, and just moving along, getting things done. I think that's it. Trying to think what else was all exciting and all that. Mom's hospital bed's been working out okay. She's been spending just a couple hours in it. She spent about 4 hours that first night, and she could feel a lot of fluid coming off her legs and all that stuff, and then she could feel her heart pumping a little hard. So we thought, okay, well, let's do it slowly. So we did, I think she did 2.5 hours the next night, and then last night I think she was going to do again another like 2.5, and that should be good. Like I said, we'll just do it slowly. We'll try to get that fluid off, and then hope it doesn't refill too much the next day, type of thing, that the fluid will stay off. And it gives her body a different position to be in and all that stuff too. So she's not sitting in the same spot pretty much. I mean, yeah, she moves around in the chair and all that, but still just having that pressure on her booty. That so far this is a good thing. That's about it. A little bit colder out today, 42. It's cloudy today. I think there may be a chance of rain, but otherwise we should be good. Yeah, not as sunny. Yesterday was nice and sunny, blue skies. It was funny, as I was backing out of my garage, there's this tree across the street that has, it's a smaller tree, so it has the main stem, and then it has like two branches coming out on either side. And these are all red. It has red leaves on there. And so it looks like it's an arrow pointing down. And I remember last year I saw that, and immediately it was like, it's an arrow pointing down, like there's something there. So last year Wayne's like, well, you want to go check it out? You want to see if there's, I'm like, no, I mean, it's a tree, it's whatever. And then yesterday when I was backing out, and I look in the rear view mirror, and I see this arrow pointing down, and I'm thinking, who spray painted the trees over there or whatever to put an arrow? And I'm like, oh, it's that tree. And it was the same. And it was funny because the sun was just shining on it. It was so bright. It was just so vibrant. It was in your face. And I thought, oh, I'll have to remember and see if I could see that again. Well, today it's cloudy out, so I looked out there. I'm like, where's that tree? Oh yeah, there it is. But it's not as vibrant today because it's cloudy. But I just thought that was funny. I'm like, oh, maybe I should go, over there. I'm like, I'll put my snow pants on or something so I don't get any burrs from the weeds and all that in there. But maybe we will. We'll check that out. But in the meantime, I'm just going to enjoy my walk, get my fresh air in. Like I said, yeah, go find that shopping cart. And as for you guys, for your, first of all, do you have a port? Have you had a port?
And had you had it removed? And what did you have to do for that? What was your procedure? Let me know, because again, I find this stuff interesting. Like I said, the one group I'm in, I've heard a couple things, so I find it interesting if this is kind of normal or not or what. But yeah, let me know what you guys have gone through. Well, alrighty, that was a surprise. The shopping cart is gone. Okay, that's fine. I didn't need to do this. I just thought again, I would just return it to where it belonged. Funny thing is, when I came home yesterday, from being out and about, I came a little further up the street than I normally walk, but there was a shopping cart there, and I was like, are you kidding me? What are people doing around here? What are you taking the shopping carts this far away from the stores? But anyways, today's mission was this other shopping cart, so we'll see if it hasn't snowed or whatever, what the weather's like on my next walk. If I feel like trying to go find that other shopping cart and I return that. But for now, we'll just walk to the store. Well, I found a shopping cart on my walk there anyways, so I will take this one and return it. That's in pretty good shape, looks like. I remembered my bottle of water today, so it wasn't too awkward walking with it. I could hear it sloshing. But then I thought, I don't want to be drinking this and then have to go to the bathroom when I'm far away from home, because then what? But anyways, it's been a long walk. And I still have to shop and go home. It's alright, good exercise. No luck with the clapper, but I found the aisle with all the St. Nick type goodies. Finding some interesting things. The classic cordial cherries. These fruit delights. I've had that at some point. I don't remember where. This kind of reminds me of Ecuador, so I don't know if that was from there or what. But regular boxes. Boxes of chocolate, the cookies. But they have some cute stir spoons for hot cocoa. Belgian coffee cookies. Yum. And then of course Reese's peanut butter cup trees. And then they have some Dove reindeer. Those are cute. And then Hershey's chocolate bar that is interesting. They have mini Nutellas. What else was I seeing? All the other stuff is kind of usual, but they have these trees. They're gummy trees, but you peel them open. It doesn't say what's on the inside, but there's something solid. Maybe just like one of those things that squirts. Green apple, you'll have that. Some sweet tarts that are shaped. They have cookie butter cream filled Santa. There's Minecraft. And they have a tart rope. And then what was it? Oh, that was it. I saw the mini Nutellas single. Oh, and then these, they have Tic Tacs for naughty and nice. So that's funny. Some Elf on the Shelf chocolates. And you got your other milk chocolate mixes. These candy bars I bought before. And then your hot cocoa bombs. Have you guys ever used those? I've tried them. I don't know. They're okay. You got them. I saw that. I thought maybe that was a Hershey's, just a milk chocolate, like almost like the Kisses are. I thought that was going to be a big chunk of chocolate, but no. More hot cocoa bombs. Oh, there we go. Not the perfect man. There's Lilo and Stitch. I think that's a gummy. I miss these. They have the Kisses here and they're in red, but they're still milk chocolate. I thought maybe they would be dark chocolate. M&M's, I usually get those tubes for our stockings. They have Skittles, and then usually I get a big Reese's peanut butter cup one.
And then all the Ferraro Rochers. Cassie likes those. The big one like that. I prefer, this one. Just regular chocolates. This one's not bad. It has the dark chocolate and the white. The white, I like the Santa. I found a regular orange that I like. They have different flavors this year. That one has popping candy in it. They have a toffee one. I like the dark chocolate. And they also have mint flavor. There's some Elf on the shelves for grown-ups. Martha on the mantle and Snoop on the stoop. And you can get your own figurines, your own clothes to go with it. How about that? Well, there you go. You can get a whole coffee mug with the chocolate guy in there to make your chocolate bomb. Funny is that. And then we have the OG Hershey's that is one full-size candy bar. I remember getting one of those when I was 16. And we got one for our daughter once. And then the other guys all tried to copy that and do their big thing, but they're not full-size. They're all, individually wrapped. 18 full-size packs. Same with the Twix. It looks like a yardstick, but it's just individually wrapped. I think these are cute. They have little diamonds kits. That looks like fun to do. I would like to try it, but I don't want to get into a new hobby. But nice that they have small ones. I didn't think about bringing my own bag for going there. I guess too, I was only really going for cold medicine. And then Cassie said she wanted tissues. So they're doing like, oh yeah, that's fine. 4-box tissues. Well, if I get a really big plastic bag to carry them in, that won't be so bad. It'll be easy. I should put them in a smaller bag. And with a few other things that I bought, I was like, ooh, tiring out the arm. And I'm like, yeah, I forgot as I was shopping and having fun. I'm like, oh, I forgot that I walked and I didn't drive. I'm like, I don't have a car to put this in. I gotta carry it. And I'm walking home and I'm seeing in the distance. I'm like, oh, it looks like rain over there. So there too. Glad it didn't start raining. That I am walking home where it's dry. So my tissue box sticking out, it would have gotten all wet. But it's all good. All right, here's my haul. I got my tissues. I got Cassie's cold medicine. I got a birthday card for my friend's 2-year-old. I got a cute puzzle. Some travel tissues I might need. And then this cute little ornament that lights up. So it has an on-off button on the bottom. I'm assuming that these other wires can be tucked or whatever. But it has a little tab on here you have to pull out before you can turn it on, but all those should light up. Happy Saturday! I don't have my ring light in here. This lighting is just not the greatest for video. Anyways, it's cleaning day. Trying to think of anything exciting happened. Oh yeah, well, yesterday. I think I mentioned about making my chili and how I used dry beans and I soaked them overnight, but I hadn't cooked them beforehand. And so the beans were still a little bit firm from having just cooked them at 20 minutes on the stovetop. I didn't mind it so much. It was okay. But knowing the beans are firm, probably take a little bit longer for transit. And I've had a couple bowls already. It's been fine. I've had smaller bowls. Yesterday again, I figured, okay, let's have a bowl of chili. And I doled some out. I thought, oh, it looks like a little much, but I'm like, it's still less than I would normally have. And I chew well, and it's been fine. I've had some. So I had that. And I had some grapes, which again, I count out. I only had like 10 grapes. So I know, because with the skin on there and all that, I'm like, it should be fine. But then a little later, I think, within the hour or something, I think I still wanted something sweet. So then I'm like, well, I had a banana. Because again, trying to wean myself out of those peanut M&Ms. I'm like, let's try for fruit. More fruit now that, but bananas also slow the transit. Well, last night I had a blockage. Feeling little twinges, so I got my Sprite, and I had my small Sprite. And I thought, well, that should be okay. And it just felt like a different type of tummy ache. Like, didn't feel like the blockage one, but I'm like, but anytime there's a tummy ache, it kind of lends to that. So I was rubbing my tummy and trying to work it through and whatnot, and it was okay. And then by 10 p.m.-ish, I think it hit. I'm like, oh yeah, this is a blockage. Okay. So I took some magnesium citrate, and I drank about a quarter of my bottle. And then within like an hour or so, it still wasn't going away, so I drank another quarter bottle, so I had half the bottle down. And I was up to like midnight, and I'm thinking, yeah, I'm not going to bed. I'm just gonna lay on the couch. And then the pain really hit, and I was like, oh, it was in tears. Almost thought I was gonna, throw up, and that went to the bathroom. And I was okay for a little bit, and I had a little bit of output come out. I'm like, okay, well, that's good. Emptied that, went back in the living room. Felt like I was dizzy, so I kind of wanted to lay down, but also laying down was like almost more painful, like on the couch or whatever. So I'm like, I laid on the floor. Had a couple pillows, couch pillows under me and all that, so that was okay. Actually, I think fell asleep for half an hour. And so the pain finally kind of went away. I had another bag fill, so I went and emptied that. And then laid down again for a little while, and then bag filled, so I went and empty that. I'm like, oh, I should be doing good now. Okay, so I went to bed. And again, another hour, bag filled, went to the bathroom. But at least I slept in between, and it passed, so phew, another one. I'm like, oh, I thought it was so good. It's been a couple months again. And I'm like, okay, maybe we're past this. Maybe it's all going to be okay. I've got this down now. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm eating. I'm paying attention. I usually have a Sprite if I know that maybe something potentially might have a blockage. I'm paying attention to portion sizes. I know. So phooey. But again, it passed, so that was good. Other thing being, I ordered a refrigerator yesterday. So on Thursday, I heard the refrigerator making, again, another whiny type sound, and I'm like, ugh, okay. And then yesterday, I heard it again, and so I was like, okay, it was like 2 in the afternoon. I'm like, online, let me look again, let me take the time. Because that was my project this week, was to make sure I found one. So I went online, I was looking at the different refrigerators, again, trying to find one that will fit in our doors, and looking at reviews and stuff like that. And it seems that the one that we did pick out from Grand Appliance was a good one. So I just went ahead and I called them, and I said, okay, I want to order it. And they were like, okay, well, we can get it to you on Tuesday. And I was like, oh, okay. I was figuring already, it being a Friday afternoon that I'm ordering it, and Thanksgiving being next week, I'm like, it probably won't, be delivered till the first week of December. And I gotta then pay attention to, I've got my port removal appointment, and then Cassie has an appointment the week after that I need to be available for. So it's like, oh, all right, it's November, so I'm like, cool, all right, yeah, let's do this. And I said, and by the way, we have the plastic water line, and I was told that they want to hook up to copper, and that you have a person that can do that, so can I just schedule that right away? And he was like, oh, yeah. He goes, I should be able to schedule that for the same day. And so I went ahead and did that, because again, I'd just rather have it professionally done. I mean, Wayne could probably handle it. We could probably handle, hooking up this hose, but again, this hose has also been there for 17 years, so in reality it should be replaced, because, we haven't cleaned it or haven't done whatever. So, I'm like, that way, it's just, it's not, being on a condo, that's kind of the thing too, we have to have things more so done professionally by licensed people and all that again, so when the time comes that the place needs to be sold or whatnot, and that everything is good to go, and we don't have to fix things then. And I figure maybe the water will taste better. It's coming out of a copper line. So yeah, they got that all scheduled, so that was good. And then Wayne's like happy, but just a little stressed, because he's like, Jen, that's before Thanksgiving. What are we gonna do? I'm like, it'll be fine. I'll figure it out. It'll be okay. Don't know what time the fridge is being delivered yet. They said on Monday I will get a call, and they'll tell me either AM or PM. And then I will get a tracking number that I guess tells me like where the people are at on their stops, so I can see, watch it that way to potentially know when they'll be coming to the house. So that'll be okay. So in the meantime too, we have to do a few things around here. One, I'm thinking, okay, for grocery list this week, I'm like, I don't want a whole lot, because I want to eat everything we have in here possibly. So the less we have to try to put in a cooler, we only have a small cooler. I can take some stuff to Mom's and put it there if need be. We'll figure that out Monday. But in the meantime, where the water line goes, also goes from my sink. I'll show you. The water line is going to go from under the sink, and then it goes around. There's like a hole drilled that goes to the cabinet, and then through the back of the cabinet and out the side, and then to the refrigerator. So either today or tomorrow's project. I was thinking tomorrow, but then again I'm like, oh, maybe today. We'll get down here, and I have to empty all that out, at least everything that's on the bottom, which is pretty much all alcohol. I've got a few storage containers in here. The other's like, oh hey, I
have these smaller containers down here? That would be nice, because I was looking for one the other day, and I'm like, my other areas I have stored, we were using them all up. In any case, we haven't drank anything down there in years. Yeah, years even before I was sick and in treatment. I'm trying to think. And Wayne took a bartender class once, also, again, years ago. 7 years, maybe 10 years. So we bought some extra alcohol with that, with trying out different drinks, and we were trying that and having fun. Otherwise, we kind of had our basics. I don't even know if we have those down there. I probably, when I finished them off, I was like, I don't need it to have any more. Like I had that in my, amaretto and Kahlua. Those are my 2 drinks of choice. Once in a while, again, we would mix stuff and make whatever. But in the meantime, like I said, it'll be interesting to see some of the, if there are any dates on these bottles. Granted, it's also alcohol. It lasts a long time. But Wayne was like, I'm ready to dump all that. I'm like, okay. So like I said, if in any case, I have to empty all that out. So they'll have access to that and make that easy. So I'm kind of in the mood. I got about half an hour. I'm going to go to Mom's and take care of her and do all that stuff. But that's where we are at so far today. And the other thing being of going through all the magnets and seeing what we want to keep or toss. So Wayne said he can get rid of his Wayne one. I love my M&M magnets. These things are like so sticky. They're hard to get off the fridge. They're kind of nice and thick and all that, but obviously we've had them forever because they're very faded. But there's some other things that we could probably toss. But we did this when Mandy had her own place. We gave her a Lenny magnet because she loved that dog. And then different magnets of things that mean stuff to us. The girls loving frogs, Cassie loved Winnie the Pooh. We had Jesus because being at the schools. This is from the aquarium we went to. That one, Cassie was going to Platteville. We did that. The TXT magnets because I love TXT, and so that was a Christmas present to me. The other magnets were from the girls had their locker, so they had inspiring messages when they'd open up their locker. Magnet from my friend Donna. We were supposed to go to New Orleans that year on vacation, which we didn't. Magnet that came with a Father's Day card. That was visiting the Racine Lighthouse. Soul. Cassie's got the other ones. There's just like a set of 4 or something of soul magnets, because again, there's no ornaments over there. And then when Cassie was in Seoul, she bought that one from one of the places that she visited. And then just cute little magnets over here. I love rainbows. We have that. These are for our grocery lists. Timer when the kids were in school. The teacher took the drawings that they had and made them into magnets. So that's cool. My pens that the girls made, a flower out of duct tape. And then I always put a calendar up with our food so we know how old our leftovers are and we toss them or eat them when they need to be. Well, here we go. It's cute. One of the girls went to Summerfest and got this cup. Came with a little shot glassy thing. I think Mandy must have gotten that. Decided they wanted to keep it because it was cute. Grenadine. And grenadine goes in a lot of drinks. So we have our vodka. I think more vodka. I have a whole drink list. We printed off on how to make different recipes, different drinks. Butterscotch, oops. What's that one? Butterscotch ice cream. Oh, this could be, let me see. Could have been from when Wayne took a bartending class. And then we tried these in a nut. So, I find it funny, I actually had a soda can down there. I'm like, why would I have a soda can? Unopened, and yet there's like, a tiny bit in there. So that leaked. Well, it doesn't look wet down there or anything, but, and then this, tonic water too. Obviously, well, I don't even know if we opened, but it's all squished in. Was good stuff. Cream de menthe. My mom used to love to drink that. I think that we just got for the heck of it. Fashion mix. Well, we don't usually drink old fashions. Tried Mai Tai. I think Wayne bought that at one point. Wanted to try it. Didn't like it.
chocolate chip liqueur. It was okay. What else do we have? Rum. I've used that in my rum cookies. The melon mix. That's good stuff. I forget what drink I used to use with that in there. The green in there, but triple sec. And then the peach tree, the flavor of the fruits. Galliano. We've got banana. Absinthe. What else? Another chocolate. No chocolate syrup. I don't even know why I bought that. What I was going to use it for. Tanqueray. I think my dad used to like that one. And then pomegranate, which you have to say pomegranate. If you ever seen that meme, I can never say pomegranate the same. And then I forgot I had a glass jar down there because, again, they always say glass is better than plastic to sort of try to put anything that you're making. If I was trying to do this stuff with putting cucumbers in water and fruit and stuff like that to try to make it taste better. But, yeah, and then there's another drink mix shaker that gives you recipes right on there. So very interesting, but the bottom is now cleaned out. So I think about having these cabinets too that, they go way back there, that you can't see back there and you can't reach. So goofy design.
Oh, talk about lighting. How is this lighting? Yeah, so oof. We finished emptying out the liquor bottles, and we decided to have lunch. Went in the freezer for a burrito, and he's like, there's water dripping off of our ice container to the bottom of the fridge. And and he looks at the temperature, and it's 40 degrees in the fridge, or in the freezer. So yeah, freezer one kaput. So we started emptying the freezer out and putting it in bags, and I nicely took it over to Mom's. So very nice, very grateful that she's nearby, that I can use her space, and all of our stuff did fit in her freezer. That's pretty packed full. And then I said, I don't know about the refrigerator. So when I came back, I'm like, well, I went in the refrigerator for a couple carrot sticks, and I'm like, these don't feel as cold as they should be. So we moved the thermometer into the fridge, checked it in about an hour, and the fridge was at 50. Yeah, that won't do. So we packed up the refrigerator and took that all over to Mom's. So I'm like, we're testing out her refrigerator to see how much capacity it really has. So I was able to get all my stuff into her refrigerator, so that's nice. But it's like, okay, I've been running, and now it's like 5:30ish. I'm like, okay, now I can sit back and just relax for a little while. And I have to go back to Mom's. And I've got her she's in the bed right now. But then after a while, I don't know if she'll be out or not. So the plan was, I thought she was only going to be in there for a little while. And then when I come back later, maybe I'll shoot for more 9 o'clock than 8, that we could get her back into bed for another couple hours. But this is already later in the afternoon that she's been there. So we'll see how she's feeling. But in any case, still doing some bandage changes with her and stuff and all that too. So that's an everyday thing, waiting for stuff to heal. That's the way that goes. But yeah, so that wasn't on my bingo card today. lots of going, running, emergency type stuff. But again, at least we could save some of our food. It wasn't horrible. Like, again, in the freezer we had fruit, and some packages of frozen vegetables. So if that kind of thaws a little bit, refreezes, it shouldn't be too bad. We'll just have to kind of consciously eat some of that stuff sooner than later. That was my plan, because the fridge is coming on Tuesday. I'm like, really? Yeah, couldn't have held out for just a couple more days? The plan was to eat as much as we could. That was already in the fridge between now and Tuesday. So, like I said, I didn't really have anything on the grocery list so that we could eat what was in there. So we're trying. Cassie asked Cassie, I'm like, you want your fried rice for tonight? Because we have one of those packages left. So Sam will get rid of, she'll eat that today. So that's one less thing that's, again, in the freezer, and it's one thing that's eaten. So that's good. And there were some things that were in the fridge that don't absolutely need to be refrigerated, which is nice. So we have those off on the side. So again, that didn't need to take up refrigerator space. So that's okay. But oof, if you guys ever had the refrigerator go out on you, I know a lot of times it's more of an emergency type thing. And then you do lose everything that you have in the fridge and freezer, which stinks. But so far, it shouldn't be too bad.
Happy Sunday, end of the day. Figured finish off this video so I can get it posted, and we're all caught up this time. Seeing as I posted that other video on Friday, then with this video it'll be more in real time. So yay! Yeah, so today didn't go too badly, even having, no refrigerator. We had Wayne has some chocolate donuts that he likes to eat for breakfast sometimes. And I had the English muffins, an English muffin with butter. That's what I ended up having. And then for lunchtime, I ended up going by Mom's, and I got a couple of burritos for Wayne. They were very nice and frozen. It was like, oh yeah, I forgot how real frozen food is supposed to feel. So, brought that back, brought back some leftover Chinese for me for lunch. So I had that. And I just kind of had some snackings for dinner. Wayne just made himself some ramen. I'm like, well, that was a good idea. So that was good. And then because I've been at Mom's a little extra, we actually have got her into bed 2 times for yesterday and then today. What will be. I asked her if she wanted to try laying in bed at like 1 o'clock. She was like, sure. It gives her a different viewpoint and all that. Also, we put up her Christmas decorations on Saturday. We had her tree up, but we didn't do anything with it. And I bought that new tree. And so we put that together and had a look at it. It was just a little bit bigger than the tree she had. And we saw them side by side. It was like, kind of still like the smaller tree better. And then with the new tree, it had what looked like a string of lights on it. But the way that they did it, the lights were they were off. They weren't very centered around the tree. So there was like one whole area that was dark. And so we thought, well, maybe we could restring the tree. We'll just redo the lights. And Wayne started to try to go take them off. But what they did was somehow they either started at the top or they started with the middle of the strand or something. And they went around the tree because then they like spliced the 2 ends together and then put the cord to go into the wall. And so you really couldn't take it off. It was just not meant to be. And so it was just kind of like, So the mom was like, I really prefer my smaller tree. So I thought, okay, well, let's make that one look better. We can restring the lights on there, get a new set of lights if need be, if half of them are out. And so we put that one, plugged that one in. And there really were only like 3 lights that were out. There weren't a whole bunch, 3 or 4. So it did look fine. I'd taken all the ornaments off of it already and stuff. And then so Wayne nicely just hung all the ornaments all back on, spaced them out very nicely. And so that looked really good. And then I found her little red tree skirt and we got that on there. So the base of the tree then doesn't look so long. It like looks shorter, having that redness on there. And then she knew she had these plastic angels and she wanted those at the base of the tree because those are taller and that would also take up some of that space. So we did that. And then while we were at it, and again, I'm thinking, okay, like I said, slowly we're going through some of her things. I'm like, she has one box full of Christmas stuff. And so I thought, well, let's go through that while we're doing this. Bring it all down. Like, what do you want out? What do you maybe still want to keep? And what do you not want to keep anymore? So there were a few things that we were able to get rid of. Brought home a couple things. There were a couple like decorative boxes. She didn't want those. There was an ornament that actually Mandy had made. It's a little ball ornament that has some green paint in there. So I think Mom remembered that one of the kids made it. I'm like, I don't remember that, but I put it in chat and Mandy was like, yep, I made that. I'm like, okay, that's going on our tree this year then. A couple nutcrackers that Mom had that were on the refrigerator. Probably a good, 2 to 3 inches tall. Very, but kind of bulky. But all the magnets had fallen off. And one of the nutcrackers lost a leg. Mom's like, well, battle wound. But she didn't need those anymore. And a few things, a pen. There's a real sparkly, almost like a big fern leaf type of a pen. So a couple things like that. So I brought those home. Cassie liked one of the boxes. It has a snowman on there. So she's going to take that into work for decoration there. But
Other than that, that was good. And then we put up her other Christmassy thing. So she's got a very cute little Christmas scene to look at. And then when she's lying in bed, she can actually look more outside and towards the whole courtyard and watch the animals going around, and maybe see if people are walking their dogs and things like that. She just kind of do a little people watching. And there's one cat that was out there that was somebody's cat they had like on their patio. It was so she got to watch the cat a little bit. So interesting, little something different. But otherwise too, she'll watch TV, or like today she said she actually fell asleep for a little while. So because I came over for lunch and I was there at that point in time, I'm like, well, do you want to try to spend a little time in bed? She was like, okay. And so she did, and then she messaged me later so she spent a good just about 4 hours in bed again. 2, 3, 4, 5, over 4 hours, 4.5. So that's good. Again, like I said, slowly we'll have her in there, and again try to get the fluid off her legs and keep it off. So as she said, from last night, having been in there, she went into bed after Wayne and I were finished over there with all the stuff. And then I went back over again later at night to see how she was doing and see if she wanted to go back in the bed. At that point, I'm like, you were already in there a couple hours. And she goes, yeah, I want to go back. I'm like, okay, that's good. We'll keep going as much as we can, like I said, to help get this fluid off her body. And it's a different position. She's very comfortable. She's very warm in the bed. She likes being in there. And hopefully we'll get to the point at some point where she'll be able to lift her legs like herself and get herself into bed. But for now, like I said, slowly but surely, we're working on it. So that was good. Yeah, do that today. Like I said, I'll go over there again in a little while, a couple hours probably. Yeah, it's still early, so I'll go over there later and we'll do it again, and then see if there's any other food I can bring home, or trying to remember what we do have over there and stuff, and then what I want to bring home and eat. Tomorrow Cassie has off. I have an oil change with car, so I will be out. We'll see. Cassie really hasn't had much to eat. We did the fried rice last night, and today she hasn't had much, so tomorrow she'll be ready to eat. I do have a poppy seed salad over there. Maybe she would eat that. But in any case, we'll figure that out tomorrow. But that's today. It was beautiful outside today. When I had gone to Mom's earlier doing lunch, it was like, oh, this is beautiful. I'm going to be out here. The sun was shining. It was a warmer day. I didn't check the temperature. I think it was in the 40s. So after we had our lunches, I asked Wayne, I'm like, hey, would you be up for a walk? And he said, sure. So we did. We took a walk out there, and he was like, oh, this is nice out here. This is really nice. And I'm like, I know. It's like for a wintry day. But we needed our winter coats, but we didn't need hats or mittens yet or anything. So it was good. Get out there again, get that fresh air. So that was good. Other than that, nothing else I think is going on. Talked with Mandy this morning. She tried to buy herself a phone. She wanted to get a new phone. Her phone is losing battery power and stuff like that. It's not charging as fast as it should. She doesn't have enough memory room on there for some things that she wants. And again, her phone is older. So her friends and her went into Seoul on Saturday, and they went to the Samsung store thinking, okay, Samsung, and they'll be able to speak English and they'll have inventory and all that. And she's like, yeah, they got in there and they were kind of avoided. Nobody wanted to wait on them. And then when they did, and I think she asked about the phone, they said, we don't have any stock. You'll have to order online. And she's like, really? Really? Like, this is the main city. This is the touristy city. You're Samsung. How do you not have product? So they hung out and did a few other things and everything. And then Sunday they got together and they planned what they wanted to do for Christmas. Original plan was to go to Jeju Island, and then they changed that up and they're thinking about maybe doing some downhill skiing. Mandy does not, like to do that. So now they just rented out a hotel room for a couple nights, which is more actually even for New Year's Eve than actual Christmas Day. They'll be there for 3 days, 2 nights, and in Seoul, again in the main area of Seoul. So they are looking up activities like maybe ice skating, and there's a holiday light show that they'd like to see. and a couple other things. So she looked up like what to do in Seoul for Christmas and whatever, and there was a list of things. So she made up a list, and so they'll see which of those activities they're going to want to do. But the four of them will all get together for that. So yeah, that's exciting. They booked the room and everything, so that's a done deal now. They've got their plans. So that's awesome. And then after making those plans today, after doing all that, on their way home, Mandy passed another phone store of actually like where she got her phone number from, or the phone company type thing or something. And she was like, hey, they probably have phones. And so she stopped in there, and sure enough, she had her phone up with doing the translating, and said that she wanted a new phone. And the guy was like, is dark blue okay? Or like navy? And she was like, oh. It's like kind of the one color she didn't really want, but she's like, sure. And I was like, okay, here you go. And she was able to buy the phone. She's like, really? Here I went into the main city, to the main store, and they couldn't really help me. And here, my local area happened to have a store that had product. So that's okay. So she has a new phone. But there was something about she has to wait until tomorrow. Like she had to wait 24 hours or something for the actual activation of the phone or the number or something. So she was like, all right, I don't know why, I don't understand, but I'll give it the 24 hours and then that should be good to go. But she was able to use it enough to put all her apps that she uses on there, and she could log into different things. So pretty much she's set to go. It's just a matter of transferring over her SIM card type thing, so it'll have her phone number on there. And I think that's all that really has. So in any case, that'll be good that she has that. And then we can take her off of our phone plan. We've been paying $30 a month just to keep her phone number for her, because again, thinking, well, if it's only going to be a year, and it was nice to have, that phone number. And again, in case anything happened to the phone where she needed her American number, that she could switch back to have that. But now that it seems again like she's going to be there another year, now she's got a new phone, that we're like, okay, we will take care of what we need to there. And that's about it then. So this next week I have got errands to run. Like I said, Monday will be the oil change, and then I've got to run a few places. And then, Tuesday is refrigerator delivery. Thursday is Thanksgiving, and we still need to shop for all the ingredients once we have that refrigerator. So as per usual, it will be a full week. So I hope you guys have had a fantastic weekend. Hopefully still able to enjoy that weather, and it's not too bad by you. And I hope you're preparing well, maybe getting those Thanksgiving ingredients, getting ready for that. We'll see if we get a video up in between here. I'm sure I will post on Thanksgiving Day though. Otherwise, I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Have a great time with family, enjoy it, or just have a nice, peaceful day at home and have some good food that you like to eat. And you guys, keep it positive and go make it a great day. Bye-bye.